Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Something in the Dark, a part of the Untold Stories Project. I am your host and game master, Aaron. Something in the Dark is an actual play of Mutants and Masterminds, the world's greatest superhero RPG, from Green Ronin Publishing, using concepts and themes from the Supernatural Handbook, and is set within the connected version of Earth Prime that can be seen in many other offerings from the Untold Stories Project. Mutants and Masterminds is a D20-based system that gives players and GMs the ability to create stories featuring all of the greatest heroes of their imagination. It's flexible enough to handle most superheroic shenanigans, complex enough to handle most weird situations, and simple enough to be easy to play. My favorite thing, well, one of my favorite things about Mutants and Masterminds is the inclusion of hero points. These are that something special which allows heroes to re-roll a die, take an extra action, recover from a dangerous condition, or use their powers in new and creative ways. Our heroes each start with one of these hero points, and they can gain additional points for good role-playing, funny jokes, unfunny jokes, clever decisions, for me using their complications against them, and by your generosity. If you subscribe to our channel, renew a subscription, or donate bits to the stream, you will generate a hero point that can be given to the player of your choice. Also, if you are a Patreon member, each month you get a hero point to give to a player of your choice in any one of our shows. We're a small but growing streaming network. All of those likes, follows, subscribes keep us visible and growing and paying our bills. Now, a quick word of warning. Unlike some of our other shows and streams, this show is rated M for mature. While it deals with superheroes and it is set on Earth Prime, this is intended as a horror stream. On this show, we will be dealing with issues of mental health, body horror, kidnapping, torture, murder, and similarly adult topics. This show is not suitable for younger audiences and may trigger some adults. For the safety of our players, we are using the red light, yellow light, green light card system. In addition, while the show will mostly take place in the city of New Orleans, or New Orleans, we have stolen liberally from the real-world version. That said, the Earth Prime version may be slightly different in terms of names and places. So with all of that out of the way, let's meet our players for tonight, shall we? Say hello, heroes.
Hello, heroes.
Hello, heroes.
Howdy.
I was on mute.
Wiki wants to complain about us not being in sync at Gemstars.
Right? So you'll notice that there are currently two images in our little chart. Alex, who will be playing Anson Walker, his character from his novels, is not going to be able to join us for about the first month. And Jenny will be here probably around the break. So, with all of that out of the way, let's have you introduce yourselves. Tell us your name, where else our listeners can find you, and answer our question of the episode, which is, what is your favorite mix of horror and superheroes in the media? And we'll start with Brandon.
Yay, I get to take the answer because I know everybody else is going to try and do it. Hi, everyone. My name is Brandon. You can see me around the network in all sorts of places. The aforementioned Gemstars. I'm also in City of Destiny, our other Tuesday night game. I am in our podcast, Heroes of Tomorrow, and a host of one-shots here and there. And my answer to the question of the day is the same for any older millennial or younger Gen Xer, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even think about that.
How was that not on your radar?
That was the only one I could think of that mixed the two.
Really?
Oh, I've got
Okay.
that.
So I will pass it to Wiki.
Hi, I'm Wiki. And much like everybody else here, you can find me all around the network. Just gotta look. Are we saying who we're playing, or are we holding that?
We're holding on to that for this episode.
Okay, cool. To answer the question, I mean, Buffy, obviously, Buffyverse. But also Hellboy, we're going with live action. And literary, we'll go with Something is Killing the Children.
This is my surprise face.
Yes. It's almost like all of those things inspired the character I will be playing. And I will pass to Deuce.
Hey, that's me. Blessed be everybody. I'm the Deuce. You can find me here, occasionally running, occasionally playing, occasionally just saying things to try and break cat. I thought about this and I thought it may sound hokey, but if I'm looking for horror in my media, I wanted to go with something very familiar, and that a man, an inventor who, though his inventions are what he's known for, it's really the struggles inside that's what makes him, the demons he fights with internally. So of course that would be my horror. It may not think of as a horror, but I think that's the true horror of it. And that is absolutely who you're thinking of, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And that would have to be my favorite. And with that, we'll go to Ann Puppy.
Hi, I'm Ann Puppy. You can see me here mostly on Tuesdays, although Alex and I are cooking up something. I'm pretty excited about it because it falls right in line with me as a person. And but mostly I'm here on Tuesdays. I play on City of Destiny. Forgot what that was. Just played on Gemstars, and now I'm here. So, and to answer the question of the day, I'm not a huge horror fan. So, I'm fitting in perfectly here. I picked like the really happy, bubbly character, so it feels the most appropriate that I would be uncomfortable here. So, I mean, I'm going to have to just pick Buffy because I didn't even think of that as superhero horror. But yeah, like I just am not a big horror person. It's just not my thing. So I tend to stay away. It has nothing to do with what it is. I am frightened very easily. So I am still, as a grown adult, yeah, we'll have to hold somebody's hand when going through a haunted house because I am fully aware that they are human beings and real people, but I'm still utterly terrified the entire way.
What if that haunted house was made of candy?
I feel like that would make it worse. I was traumatized by it at a young age, so I have a very strong aversion to horror. So I'm easily frightened. So my bad.
But you're not so young that you were traumatized by the recent but by the original ABC one with Tim Curry, right?
Yes, the original one. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't see the second one, but I feel like I would be just as terrified as a grown adult.
I was traumatized as a kid by Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh Lord!
Killer clowns from outer space.
I wish I was joking. I was terrified to go into my basement for a month.
Deuce, they've got a lot of Killer Clowns merchandise at Spirit Halloween right now.
I'm just saying, they put them in cotton candy and drank them dry like spiders. It was weird when you're very, very young.
It was.
I will also point out that you can order from Spirit Halloween on DoorDash.
Fun fact. So I was last, right? So that goes back up to Aaron.
It does, yes.
But you're first in our hearts.
I'm astonished that none of you guys pulled any of the ones that were in the forefront of my mind, because I love the slightly horror superhero comics like Werewolf by Night or Blade or The Man Thing or Swamp Thing or
Ghost Rider,
Constantine. I mean, all of those. Or even Marvel Zombies, which is way more fun than it had any right to be.
I don't do zombies.
Yeah, it was like hard pass.
I'm still putting it out there. Uspep 2 zombies. We need to do it sometime.
That was like
Someday.
that was my least favorite of the What If series on Marvel was when they did the zombies. I was like, "Ugh, hate all of these.
I mean, I had options. A couple of those were on there, but you said favorite. So, because like Darkman is
Fine.
up there too. So,
That's fine.
Ooh.
Um,
But for our viewers, if you want Gator Man Zombie, get in the comments.
now the funny
stay out
thing
of the
is that
comments, everybody.
none of those are actually my favorite. My favorite, although Marvel's Werewolf by Night one shot that they did last year around Halloween is a very close contender because I thought that was incredible. But my favorite superhero horror thing is the movie Brightburn.
See, I haven't seen that yet.
Because that may be a alt Superman story, but that is absolutely a horror movie.
Yeah.
So, with all of that aside, let's go ahead and jump in, players. So, New Orleans, the Big Easy, Crescent City. These names bring many things to mind, from incredible Cajun cuisine to Mardi Gras parades to riverboats and the best damn jazz music ever made. There is, however, a darker side to the city. New Orleans is known just as much for voodoo and vampires and ghost tours. And on Earth Prime, New Orleans holds the headquarters for Arcade, the American Research Center for the Arcane Defense of Earth. Very few know of Arcade, and that is the way they want it. Let the Freedom League and the Stormbreakers have the nightly news. If Arcade does its job correctly, no one will ever know that they existed. So join us as we meet the newest operatives for Arcade, although they don't yet know it. And we are going to start with, we see a woman sitting at a table in a heavily lined office laboratory on a college campus, Tulane University specifically. Scattered across the table, there is an odd mismatch of items. Most of them are mechanics and electronic pieces. Some of them look like they came out of a junk drawer. Others seem high-tech to a level that they would belong on an episode of Star Trek. But in addition, there are also books and manuals that are strewn about. But not just technical manuals, also grimoires. In this office, there is a woman who sits with her back to the camera. We can see that she is in a mechanized wheelchair, and she is speaking to someone over the phone. While doing so, she is soldering a connection in place on a circuit board. However, she's doing so without moving, because both board and soldering iron are floating in midair. Aunt Puppy, tell us a little bit about this woman and who she's speaking to.
So just quickly looking at my notes. I forget who she's speaking to. Because there's been many days between there. But who the woman is, her name is Professor Daffodil Carrie Pembroke, and she is fully aware of how ridiculous her name is. She usually introduces herself just as Carrie, but affectionately known by her mother as Daffy and her dad as Care Bear. You can't tell who got to pick which name. She has sort of short, choppy, copper-colored hair. It is constantly, much like my own, ruffled in different directions at varying stages of pulled up and pulled down and just a mess, essentially. She has a small scar separating both of her eyebrows, or her eyebrow, from her lab accident. She has a strong jaw, but rather soft, round features. She has large eyes that are striking emerald green. She gives off the vibe of like a cuddly puppy that would also bite you if necessary. She is a traditional ginger with pale skin and lots of freckles. She is a pretty happy-go-lucky person, even with what happened to her. the exact opposite of most characters I play. She is British. I will wait till the second episode to torture any of you with the attempt at my British accent. I need a little bit more practice and a little bit more courage. But she is sitting, I think I said she was on the phone with her mom.
I believe you did.
I couldn't remember. Her mom, also, let me look at my notes. Her mom's name is Prue. Prue LaView. She is an heiress to a British horse racing family. She didn't really enjoy that side, so she left and kind of started traveling around with various bands and met her dad, Arthur. He is oh shit, no, those are her grandparents. I'm sorry. Her mom's name, God, my notes are all over the place, so I'm a
You
little
don't have
chaotic.
to give us the whole family tree. Just tell us that she's talking to her mom.
She's talking to her mom, Haley. Yes, Haley Pembroke, her mom, is who she is speaking to because they have a very close relationship. So she calls her mom just about every night before she goes to bed.
Which is a lot more feasible now than it was 10 years ago when calling your mom in England every night would have been really expensive.
Yep. So there was lots of phone bills that she had to very slyly ask her grandma to pay for. But yeah, so she's just having a normal conversation with her mom, talking about her day, how things went in class that day, and how her robotics team is doing, and just kind of average, normal, everyday stuff. While also, willing, various components of various robots that have been damaged that she is fixing.
Does the robotics team compete in robot combat by any chance?
They do.
Okay.
They do.
All right. So you're chatting with your mom. You realize that it's getting a little late because, of course, it's 5 hours later in England than it is on the East Coast. So she's like, love, it's getting close to midnight. I'm gonna have to sign off now.
All right, Mom, I'm going to finish up while I'm here and just got a few more things and then I'm gonna head off to bed.
Okay. And then you notice there is a knock on your door. Now, you do normally do office hours on Mondays, so that's not too strange. But it's 7 o'clock, which is well after office hours.
So she's going to, assuming it's just a kid, having a normal college crisis at 7 o'clock at night while studying for finals. She's going to just kind of yell, "Hold on, I'll be there in just a second," kind of, start putting her things away slowly while she kind of moves towards the door. No real quickness to it, assuming and hoping that it's just a kid that she can kind of shoo away and tell them to come back during her actual office hours. But she's kind of keeping things moving out of sight, out of line of sight when she goes to open the door.
Okay. Do you have like a camera or anything to look outside, or are you just going to have to open the door and see who's there?
She's just making the assumption that it is not, that she has a camera, but she's making the assumption that it's a student, so she's not super worried about it. So she's going to kind of just like go, but she does have, it is a similar setup to like most labs where they have kind of the wood door and then kind of like windowing on the side that she can kind of see out of. So she would be able to see, people milling about, maybe not exactly like who they are right away, but she'd be able to see if there are multiple people or single people out there.
Sure. So when you look out the door, you'll see there's a single person there, at least that is visible right by the door. He's a little too old to be one of your students. You'd guess that he's probably in his mid 30s, probably. He is of Latino heritage. And he is wearing a suit that just kind of screams government agent. And he is rapping on your door again.
So with that, she is going to absolutely panic, and all the concentration she had of all the things that she was repairing and that she was building are going to just come crashing in a loud, like, thunder onto the ground, with like hearing, the tooling that was going, you just hear like as they fall to the ground and kind of scatter all over the place, because she thinks that she recognizes him.
I'm going to go ahead and share an image to the players to show him to everyone. And as soon as everything falls, he is going to say, Professor Pembroke, is everything okay in there?
And she's gonna kind of squeak out, yeah, I'll be there in a second. As she's kind of trying to like hide everything that she was doing and wheel up to the door. She will, so her chair is like robotic, but whenever she's meeting people, she tends to use it more manually than robotically. Just kind of, it's already one thing she has to explain. She doesn't want to also have to explain that she has like a Professor X style chair.
Sure,
So
sure.
she kind of wheels up and opens the door for him.
Okay, so when you open the door, you see the man standing there. He is holding a little billfold in his hand, which he flips open, and you can see a badge for the FBI. And he goes, Professor Pembroke, I'm Special Agent Miles Sanchez. I was wondering if I could take a few moments of your time. We wanted to discuss some of the more unusual work that you're involved in.
Sure. Sure. Why don't we go to my office where it is a little less this.
Of course. He will step back to let you lead the way.
So her office door, so she has her lab, and her office is kind of just a little bit around the corner from her lab.
So when you go out into the hallway, you will notice that in addition to Agent Sanchez, there are two other individuals also wearing poorly fitting suits, although their suits do not hide the fact that they clearly have some sort of firearm underneath their jacket, and black sunglasses and earpieces in. They look like they were more or less standing guard. But
so she'll look at he's introduced himself, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she'll look at Miles and tell him, "Oh, are your friends planning on joining? Because I have a no weapons policy in my office."
No, they will stay in the hall and ensure that we're not interrupted.
Okay. She's kind of hoping that he would then also say that he had a weapon so that she could keep him away from her.
He doesn't say anything about a weapon. I'll let you give me an insight check if you want.
No, all right. Well, no, her insight's not very good. I really want it to be a technology. I'd really want it to be a tech gun. So that I can definitely, that one I can feel out.
Do you have a power to detect technology?
I thought I did. Maybe I don't. I just have I have a 14 in technology, but it's not, it's more of a combat technology than anything.
Yeah.
My expertise is just magic and robotics.
Sure. Not that good at reading people.
No, not that good.
All right. Yeah, so he doesn't say anything about a weapon, but he just, nods and, follows you.
So she will go into her office and go behind her desk, kind of letting him know he can sit down in one of the chairs in front of her desk. She will, however, in her desk, she doesn't have, well, obviously she doesn't have weapons, but she does have some tech in her drawer that she kind of opens her drawer a little bit just so that she has quicker access if necessary.
Sure. By the way, Ann Puppy, I was looking at your character sheet. You have the power to sense technology when you have your goggles on.
Ah, that's what it was. I was like, I thought I put it in there, but and I don't have I have my lab goggles on, but not my fancy goggles.
Okay. Agent Sanchez says, thank you for taking the time to see me. So there's not any easy way to say this that isn't going to raise eyebrows. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. The agency that I represent has been observing you since your accident last year.
Thought I recognized you, but I think last time you were just lurking in the background.
We're very good at that, yes. In addition, well, we're aware of some of your unique capabilities. And we would like to approach you about an opportunity to use those for the betterment of everyone. We're going to be making a presentation to a number of individuals similar to yourself tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock at the Bottom of the Cup tea room.
I know that place. I may have stumbled upon it a couple of times. And what time did you say to be there?
7 p.m. tomorrow, October 3rd.
And she'll kind of jot down a quick note about it. I'll have to check my schedule and see what classes I have going on at that time.
You don't have any classes tomorrow evening.
Oh, I'm really hoping that, the online published schedule of when professors will be in classes was not available
It may not be.
to the FBI.
He's got access to it.
Well, I guess then you can just check me on your list as being there.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing you. By the way, I wanted to tell you, I found the paper that you published last month to be rather fascinating.
Thanks. There was a lot of research time involved, and I was really happy to allow some of my students to kind of help in the process while they work on their dissertations.
I'm very interested in the application of technology for enhancing senses. So I'd love to read more of your work, but we can talk more about that after tomorrow evening.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you tomorrow.
And she will inadvertently open the door with her powers unintentionally. And so she'll just kind of point and will the door open, just kind of letting him know, okay, you can get out, please. But in a nice way.
All right. He will he doesn't raise an eyebrow or even look twice at the fact that the door just opens.
She's kind of gonna smile through her teeth, like, oh god, like hoping he didn't notice, but like hoping he kind of did.
All right, and then he will leave. And when you look out the door, you will see that the other two agents who are in the hallway leave with him.
She shut the door and open up her laptop and just kind of start searching him.
We'll get back to you on that. So we're going to move forward a little bit in time. This was around 7 o'clock on Monday evening. We're now getting into late night, Monday night. And our camera cuts away to an alley in the French Quarter. Because the French Quarter is relatively safe for tourists and residents, even after dark, as long as you stick to the main thoroughfares where the lights shine bright. When you venture into some of the more off-track alleyways, you might be taking a few more risks, as Chrissy Gavin from St. Charles, Missouri has discovered. Chrissy recently graduated from high school and is taking a gap year before she starts her BA in early childhood education at the University of Missouri. She's here in New Orleans with a couple of girlfriends, enjoying the relative quiet of NOLA in October, long before the Mardi Gras celebrations start. Unfortunately for her, she decided to leave her friends behind and follow the hot stranger she met while dancing back to his place. The path to his place led through this alley, where 4 of his friends were waiting for Chrissy. And as those 4 approached her, the 4 of them and he underwent a horrifying transformation into something inhuman. Fortunately for Chrissy, someone was following these creatures, making these hunters into the hunted themselves. Earlier tonight, unbeknownst to this particular group, Harper Graves has already eliminated 7 of the dozen creatures that made up this pack. So we zoom in as a woman closes in on the beasts who are about to make a meal of Chrissy Gavin. Wiki, would you like to describe this woman to us?
Absolutely. So she's short, standing at around 5'4" in stocking feet, wide set shoulders and a long torso, cut a boxy silhouette. Her small chest and rounded hips are the only things that keep her athletic build from being completely boyish. If you had to guess, by looking at her long, angular, somewhat androgynous face with its weak chin and prominent nose, you'd say she was in her 20s, but her honey-colored hazel eyes say that she's seen several lifetimes worth of shit, and the extensive scarring across her face makes it difficult to be certain. The couple dozen ear and facial piercings also don't help to pin down her age, but coupled with the massive amounts of ink covering most of the visible skin on her body and the stupid amounts of jewelry around her neck, wrists, and fingers, they do help to pin down her general new age counterculture goth vibe. Her white blonde hair with its deep red ends and chunky black streaks and choppy chin-length asymmetrical undercut manic pixie look lends a touch of punk to that aesthetic. The yellow-black grunge plaid cargo shorts slung low across her hips look like they probably started out their life as pants, but ditched their bottom half just below the mid-thigh at some point, in the same way that the flowy, high-low crop tank top had likely been an oversized t-shirt for the band Atreyu when it had first been created. Even her mid-calf goth boots and beat-up leather backpack have been modified from their original designs with chains and straps, and in the case of the boots, what looks like monster teeth set in a wide mouth across the toe caps. And she's going to sigh and roll her eyes and step into the one little beam of light hitting this alley.
Wiki, would you be so kind as to roll initiative for Harper?
I sure will. You really are predictable, you know that, guys?
You say that
Yeah.
Okay. They will turn and hiss at you. And I will give you a surprise round
There
before
I am. Okay.
they get to do anything.
Actually, I don't see me at all on the map.
You
there I
should
am.
be
Never mind.
up near the
I
top,
found me.
next to the
I found
next to
myself.
the streetlight.
I found myself.
Okay.
Oh my god, are we going to have another Jason situation here? Because that would be terrible.
What do you mean? Oh,
I rolled a 1.
on your initiative?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it begins.
Yep. I will remind you that against minions, you can always take 10.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. This is fine.
So what are you doing with your surprise round?
Let's see. How far away are these? I'm just going to let's do I'm going to run up just straight up to them after I'm like, you guys really are predictable. And I'm going to run just straight at them. And at the last moment, do sort of a slide tackle on the red dot.
Okay.
With the intention of putting myself between them and the victim, whose name I don't know or care about.
I came up with a name for her and everything.
It's great. Somebody will care, it ain't me.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. Demonic infusion away. Oh, that would be a natural 20 for a 27.
Yeah, that will definitely hit the ghast. And with a critical, that's a DC 28 toughness save.
Yes, it sure is.
He cannot make a DC 28 toughness save.
That's good.
So would you like to tell us what happens to Mr. Red Dot Ghast?
So because he's sort of standing in that center of that sort of faux triangle thing happening, she just sort of runs at them almost like she's going into a football tackle.
Mhm.
And then at the last minute, she sort of soccer slide tackles him and trips him and then follows that up with an elbow as, a way to push herself back to her feet and just cracks him right in the throat and gonzi.
Hey, question, Harper.
Yeah.
Do you by any chance have the takedown advantage?
I'm pretty sure that I do. I sure do.
Oh, well, if that case, would you like to make another attack against the minion within who is adjacent to him?
So I'm just gonna
would be all of them.
We're gonna go with purple because we like purple.
Okay.
We're going to like I said, use our elbow to push ourselves back up, and then that same momentum will carry that fist forward and hopefully right into this guy's teeth. For a 24 to hit.
24 will more than hit. He can potentially make a DC 23 toughness save.
Ooh.
And
challenge.
with a
All
natural 19, he does. So you clock him, but he doesn't go down. And that will take us to the top of the first actual round, which
over my shoulder, I will look at Chrissy and go, "Run, you moron!"
And she surely will when it gets to her turn. So it is the purple dot ghast's turn, and he is going to, after you slug him, he just swipes out at you with his claws.
I mean, fair.
And that is a 23 to hit.
23 will hit.
Okay. DC 19 toughness.
Ooh.
No, okay. Go wrong page. 26.
All right, so he slashes out at you, but you roll with it, and it, there's a slight welling of blood as his fingertips scratch you, but no real injury. And it's back to you.
Interesting. How about this? Oh, I hate it. I hate everything about that.
I'll repeat, you can just take 10 if you want.
I already rolled, so I miss. I definitely miss with a 13.
Yeah, you do.
Yep.
Not by a lot, actually, but Green Dot Gas is going to step forward and grab Chrissy by the arm. Blue Dot Gas is going to step in to help cut you off and is going to attempt to grab you.
Cool.
Well, he can't critical because he's a minion, but I believe a 26 will successfully grapple you.
Yeah.
All right. That would have been the DC 18 would have been damage, but since it's not damage, it's he's trying to grab you, so it's a DC 13 resisted by strength or I believe it's strength for a grapple.
Yeah, that's. Yep, we've got another Jason situation, and I am not happy with that. We're good. That's an 11.
Yeah, okay. Well then, actually, sorry, you could use strength or dodge.
Oh,
I suspect your dodge would have been better, so I'll let you re-roll that.
Oh, okay. Boop. 19.
That is enough that he grabs at you, but he's not strong enough to hold on to you.
Okay. Just like, no.
Really?
And Orange Dot Gast is going to step in here because he assumes that you're easy meat. And he will also bite at you. And that is a 6, so that'll fail. Chrissy is going to try to break free from the gas grasp.
Say that
Which
three
with
times
a
fast.
19 on my Norse Foundry die, Norse Foundry used for all of your random number generating needs.
Use code USP North, save yourself some money.
Yep. Chrissy is going to break free and run. As far as she can.
She's done all night.
It's definitely the smartest thing she's done all night. That takes us back to the Purple Dot Gas.
My bestest friend.
Yep. Who really wants to claw you. Will a 19 hit?
It will.
Then he will claw at you. Nah.
It's not claws. It's not claws at all.
28.
That is not what claws sound like.
His claws sound like that. Yeah, okay. Again, he reaches for you, but you're more than a match for their abilities. It's almost like they're moving in slow motion compared to you. You're back up, Harper.
What do I know about ghasts?
Ghasts are able to do limited shape shifting. Really just a disguise back to what their human bodies looked like before they became ghasts. They are undead. They feed on human flesh. And they are vulnerable to cold iron weapons.
Interesting.
They're also not terribly strong. They tend to work in packs, and they are very cowardly. They will run if they feel like things are going against them.
At the drop of a hat.
Yep, basically.
All right. Well, let's just keep punching these guys. We're gonna go for green first.
Okay.
Because purple has made me angry, and I'm just gonna do that thing where we take 10.
Okay. So that will be what to hit then?
It's 18.
That's
No, wait.
more than enough.
Yeah, 18.
Okay.
Sorry.
And it's what was DC 23?
That is correct.
That is not a 23. So
No.
tell us how you dispatch of, or do you want to see how many of them you take down and then describe it all at once?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
We will move next door to the thing standing next to it.
So to blue.
Once again, an 18. Yes.
Okay. That is exactly a 23.
Yes.
I'm rolling way too good for.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like
On
it
the
at
other
all.
hand, I did roll a 19 for Chrissy Gavin, so otherwise she'd be in all sorts of getting eaten right now. But you will take down one.
Cool. So just gonna turn and do a roundhouse kick at the green one. And I was hoping to just sort of go all the way through, but the green gas didn't break apart properly. So
Fair enough. Would you like to take a move action? Or do you want to fatigue yourself and take a second attack?
ooh, that'll be fun. Let's fatigue I'm going to fatigue myself and go after the yellow one. I'm
Okay.
going to try to split the middle. Again, 18, 23.
Okay. We'll use our Norse Foundry die. We should not have used our Norse Foundry die because that was a 4 for a total of 9.
Cool. We will go back to blue. 18,
Okay.
23.
That is a 12 for a total of 17.
All right. So as I split the middle guy, literally, I will grab one of the arms and just whack out at his friend.
Okay.
A little bit of follow through there, and then spin completely around and face purple again. Crack my neck and go at him with just cat claws, just to the face.
Okay.
18 and 23.
Norse Foundry, you are failing me. That is a 3 for an 8.
Thank you, Norse Foundry. So I just literally rip this thing apart with my hands.
Sure do.
And then go, ugh. Oh,
And
Oh.
Chrissy is going to continue to run.
yes.
Okay. As you are cleaning Icar off of your hands and whatnot, there is a sound coming from the other end of the alley.
Your
That
microphone
sounds-
did not pick up your clapping sounds.
Oh, it didn't? That's a shame.
Nope.
What's the sound of one agent clapping?
What is well, it's not the sound of one agent clapping, actually. It is the sound, well, it's the sound of one agent clapping, but there are 5 agents who step out of the shadows. Four of them holding, well, they're agents, but they're wearing body armor and they're holding submachine guns. While the fifth one is a late 30s, maybe early 40s Latina woman who looks over to you and goes, I see that Dusk's House operatives haven't lost a step.
Do any of these people look familiar to me?
No. Stand down, men. She's not the threat, although she is dangerous.
I don't believe I know you.
I don't believe that we've ever spoken, no. But you have done work for us through the house. Slowly, so as to show you that she is not going for a weapon, she will reach into her jacket, pull out a billfold that flips open, and you can see the, because you can see at this distance, even in the darkness, that it says Special Agent Miles, or not Miles Sanchez, Angelique Dufay, with the FBI. I've been reaching out to Dusk House, actually, trying to secure your services. Haven't been able to get a response, but I was fortunate when our seers told me that you were here in the city.
Yeah, you won't get a hold of them ever again.
That's disturbing.
Yeah. Really disturbing, actually. What can I do for you?
Well, maybe we can do something for each other then. You kill demons.
Not just demons, but sure.
We're in need of people with specialized abilities like that. For a operation involving a former employee. I was hoping to secure your services through Dusk House, but we have set a meeting for tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock at the bottom of the Cup tea room. We can pay, but also if something has happened to Dusk House, we would be more than willing to put the resources of our agency towards helping you figure out what happened there.
Yeah. You said 7?
7 o'clock, bottom of the Cup.
I'll be there.
We appreciate it.
And
Do you have... I know you're a bit of a nomad. Do you have a place to stay for tonight?
yeah, I'm fine.
Very well. We will see you tomorrow then. Well, she kind of glances down at her watch. Later today.
Mm. And I will make my way back to my bike.
All right. Again, we will cut away, and some more time passes. The early morning dawn of Tuesday creeps forward with the long fingers of the sun barely breaking through the thick cloud cover. And as the illumination comes back, we see the front of St. Louis Cathedral in the midst of Jackson Square. At this point in the morning, the square is not yet filled with musicians and artists and fortune tellers. Instead, the square is mostly filled with people who have been sleeping on the street through the night. Now, some of them are simply there because they overindulged while out on Bourbon Street and they never made it back to their dwelling. But most of them are there because that is their way of life. Amongst these people, we see a man who is handing out ready-to-eat meal packets, and he has a small cart with coffee on it. Deuce, would you like to tell us a little bit about this scene and what's going on here?
Sure. So walking among them is seems to be a well-dressed gentleman, long button-up shirt, buttoned annoyingly all the way up around the neck, but wearing a vest also buttoned up, who seems to be walking among the people, pushing his little cart, the occasional chuckle from either the person he's handing up a small container of food to or a passerby, but it sometimes seems shared jokes, familiarity to them, and a smile. Leans down to the first, gives his shoulder a small shake to wake him up from his long night of stupor. Goes, Micah, we have beds, but it's good to see you. You're probably hungry here. And then I'll pour a small cup of coffee and hand it to him and go, take this first. You know, the headache, and glad to see you're all right. Of course, the man sitting on the corner grumbles a little bit, but greets him with a smile and goes, you still look like a moron pushing that little cart. But the man just smiles and goes, it's all right, Micah. Enjoy breakfast. And he'll push along to the next, and Micah will straighten himself up for a little bit. And in his mind, or at least the gentleman who's walking away sees it as, for a moment, he seems a little more human, a little more normal, and has a little more pride as Micah calls out to him, goes, you're one of the good ones, Lawrence. And he just looks back with a grin, goes, so are you, Micah. For on to the next, greeting those, many of them by name, and those he doesn't, taking a few moments to at least ask their name before giving them food. Then making his way around from person to person he sees in need.
Okay. As you are making your way around, distributing food, coffee, and, telling those who look like they might need something beyond that, about, services that are available over at your church a few blocks away. You do notice that standing against the wrought iron fence, there is a man with he does not look like he belongs here. He is wearing, again, a suit that screams out government agent. He is again, well, I'm not going to bother describing him again, but it is Miles Sanchez once more. And he is looking at you and then kind of looking down at his phone, looking back up, almost like he's trying to figure out if you're the right person.
I'll roll my little cart along the bumpy cobblestone path. It's made, of course, old pavers, not the blissfully smooth concrete that would make this so much easier, but I'll trundle my little cart past him with a smile and go, morning, good to see you. Then start pushing it past us. Merely a greeting.
Father? Or do you use father as a title, or?
No, I'll stop for a moment, look back up. Most people just call me Lawrence. Who might I have the pleasure of meeting?
And he'll display his little flip open. Agent Miles Sanchez.
Oh, good to meet you. I'll stick out his hand and go, do you prefer Agent or would you prefer Miles?
Miles is fine. When he takes your hand, you notice a flicker of distress across his face. And then he goes, oh, you're definitely who I was looking for.
Oh, long night? Oh, hold on. Turns back around, pours a cup of coffee and holds it out to him.
I'll take that. Thank you.
Even the best of us find ourselves in hard times. Why don't you walk?
You'll notice when he takes the cup from you, however, he is very, very deliberate in not touching your skin again. Lawrence, in addition to all of the work that you do with the church, you may remember a few months back, you were requested to do some translation work on a ancient Enochian tablet.
For the briefest of moments, like a cloud going across the sky, just a shadow goes past his face, but as quickly as it goes past, it fades. But he takes back that same smile and goes, "Oh, it's been months, but quite."
The agency I represent
The
has
FBI?
something like that.
Hmm.
They have need of someone with those skills and also with the abilities of your passenger. We know that you are associated with Micah, not that one, the one who teaches. And their other activities beyond being a school teacher. We were hoping to approach them as well about a job that our agency has need of. And we were hoping you might be open to doing some good beyond the undeniably useful work that you do with the people of the community.
He will take a slow breath, like he's trying to calm himself before letting go of the cart. He steps towards the agent, up somewhat, perhaps too close, looking him right in the eye, leaning close to him, goes, "All right. And this is for some good?"
It is. It is definitely designed to save lives. There are things happening in this community, in this city, that we believe you can help with, that will keep a lot of people from ending up dead or worse.
Yeah, Miles, I'll be happy to. We'll be happy to. And he'll take a step back, take a breath, but yeah. And Micah, it'd be wonderful to see them again. Where where should I meet you again? Or are you joining us for the service?
He glances at his watch. I have some time. I wouldn't mind joining you for the service, but the meeting will be this evening at 7 o'clock at the bottom of the cup tea room.
Lovely. Please feel free to join me. More hands makes less work, and these people, we have several rounds to go. Come along, Agent. You can feed them while you feed your soul.
And he will join you.
I'm always hungry.
He'll take back that more demure, happy countenance once more, leading along, and this time occasionally gesturing out to some of the familiars that he sees and letting Agent Miles hand them to him, though perhaps being careful not to touch his hands by accident, but letting him share in it, meet some of the people, and do the good work.
Okay. All right. We will again, our little camera will move away. Our camera moves into a striking woman in her 30s whose fashion choices scream street museum chic, and is leaning against a tree on a sidewalk in the Treme district of New Orleans. This woman is speaking to an older black man and standing next to him under the shade. From a distance, we can see that he seems concerned. Orfeo hasn't seen this man, Malcolm, who is a musician, in a few weeks, and wanted to check up on him. Malcolm explains to Orfeo that he hasn't been feeling well because money is tight, and he has had to resort to rationing his insulin. Brandon, you want to pick up from here and tell us what's happening?
Sure. So Orfeo has a kind of maybe chin to shoulder length side mullet with bright green hair, like a shade very reminiscent of like grass or leaves. Very striking. In a white button-down short shirt rolled up to the sleeves, a pair of suspenders, and a pair of jeans, and boots. Basically looks like and a trilby hat. Looks like he would fit in just about any Americana band that you were to imagine at the moment. And he is just checking in on Malcolm and has been worried. And when Malcolm talks about not being around, not performing, is because of this ration of insulin, or he actually looks just a little bit relieved. And he reaches into his pocket to pull out a card with a number, and tells him, why don't you go ahead and call this number? You're going to be looking for Marcus, and he's going to be able to help you to get access to the insulin that you need for a lower price. And then as the man looks down at the card he was given, he is very grateful and thanks Orfeo and looks up, but Orfeo is gone, and instead all he sees is a leaf falling from the tree that was behind him where he had been standing.
Okay. So from that scene, we pan out across the city to the lower Ninth Ward, where we see a cute man in his 30s with a well-trimmed beard, beautiful long hair, and the cutest yellow sundress you can imagine, who is walking away from a tree on the sidewalk. Dee walks into a nearby building that turns out to be a soup kitchen. Inside, she is greeted warmly by everyone. She stops to hug people, offers the occasional reassuring hand on a shoulder, and gradually makes her way to the kitchen in the back, puts on an apron hanging on the hook just inside, goes to a stove where a giant pot of rice is being cooked and an even larger pot of gumbo is simmering, places a spoon into the gumbo, takes a sip, and thinks. And Brandon, tell us about this person.
So Dee takes her cooking very seriously, and instantly realizes what the problem is. Not enough time. So the cutting board to her side, she waves her hand over it, and sprigs of thyme sprout up onto the cutting board. She then begins to stem the thyme and then chop it up before putting it into the gumbo. Nobody else is around, but she says out loud, "Trust me, Marcus knows the system and can successfully navigate him through signing up for Medicaid. Then the insulin payments will drop to a much more manageable $35 per vial. Malcolm will be just fine." And then she goes to stirring the pot of gumbo.
And as she is stirring the gumbo, the door opens. And I won't bother describing her again, but in walks Special Agent Angelique Dufay, who just says, "So Dee, how's the gumbo tasting?"
Needs to simmer a little longer. Allow the time to really set in. Excuse the pun. Do I recognize this woman?
Not off the top of your head, no.
And who are you?
Oh, I apologize. She pulls out the billfold. Special Agent Angelique Dufay. You probably wouldn't remember me, but notice, looking around to make sure that there's nobody else there. You may remember a few months back, you and Orfeo helped the Muse banish a lust demon.
Yeah. That was a sordid affair.
It was. We were very impressed with, you and the Muse. I represent an agency who, there's no good way to put this, has need of the abilities of people like you and Orfeo. We have a rogue element, and if he isn't brought in quickly, a lot of people could die. We were hoping that the two of you would be willing to meet with some other like-minded individuals this evening, and we could present all of the information to you then.
Well, I'm always open to helping. I'll have to check with my husband first.
Of course.
And the agent blinks her eyes after saying of course, and when she opens them, the man with the trilby hat and suspenders and shirt is standing right there. Yeah, I think we're in.
Wonderful. You know where the bottom of the cup tea room is?
And he's kind of thinking for a moment, and when she blinks her eyes, when the agent blinks her eyes again, then Dee appears. Yeah, I know the place.
7 o'clock tonight, then.
Okay. Would you care to stick around and help?
I wish I could. I unfortunately have to get back to the office. We have a lot of moving pieces at the moment.
I understand.
All right. So it is 8:15, which is a little early, but we're going to go ahead and take our break a few minutes early so that we can bring Jemmy into the stream. And when we come back, we will introduce their character and move on to the meeting at the bottom of the cup. So thank you guys for sticking around with us for the first half of our first episode, and we will see you after the break.